What is also difficult to perfect is just how exactly to reopen the country and get the economy going again. This is an incredibly challenging decision for everyone involved, Kellyanne. How confident is the president in that May 1st date for starting to reopen some areas of the country this morning?
Sandra, I would remind everybody that there is a three-phased approach to reopening that we have published. It was announced last week. Everybody can access that. I'm sure it's on whitehouse.gov. It's probably on foxnews.com. That's easy to access. And the reason there are phases is because this is data-driven, not date-driven. We have from the beginning always been listening to the medical professionals and the scientists, and we will continue to do that. I was very pleased to hear Dr. Fauci publicly say what he has said privately, which is that he thinks that there's enough testing for phase one. You can look at his exact quote that we can, if you're looking at phase one, we can start with that. But we all recognize the balance that is necessary. We recognize this is first a medical crisis, but also a financial crisis for many of our hard-hit households in this country. But if you look at those three phases, it's never intended to just turn on the button and a light switch. This is more gradual, and it really depends on infection rates, hospital capacity, ICU capacity, ventilator capacity in your area. It also matters if you were ever exposed, if you're asymptomatic. I mean, let's face it, in one workplace, you may have a perfectly healthy 28-year-old male who lives alone, was never exposed, is asymptomatic. He may be in a very different situation than a colleague who's 50 years older than him and has been exposed or is symptomatic. So I'm sure that the employer will be taking care of both of them, but one may be able to return to work and one may have to wait. You see what we're doing cabinet-wide and administration-wide also, where you've got Sonny Perdue, $19 billion more to help our farmers and the meatpacking industry. So we are looking at industry by industry, geography by geography, and never suggesting that you just turn on the light switch. We just want to make sure people see that. Look, the governors want the last say, and the president said, great, you have the last say on whether or not or how to reopen your economies, but somehow they want to delegate and abdicate all the testing to the federal government. We've got to work together, and I'm very happy as someone who's been on all these governors' calls with the president and vice president. I hear an awful lot of collaboration, not competition, and not frustration on those calls. I think some people go on other networks, some governors go on other networks, and they sing a different tune. But there's been a great deal of responsiveness and collaboration between these governors and the federal government. That will continue as we gradually reopen pieces of the economy.